We're losing every major environmental battle on a global scale. And it is bankrupting us ecologically. It has to change, or the change will come to us. The way we design our systems is broken. Flowers we like as a metaphor, because wouldn't it be great if our buildings generated all their own energy from the sun like the flower does? Wouldn't it be great if they only used the amount of water that fell on their rooftops and immediate surrounding area? And if we could just be as smart as a flower, we'd be in so much better shape.
To me, the Living Building Challenge is really important, and I'm a firm believer, and I think that most people can also say this, is that we want to leave the world in a better place than when we came here, or instead of taking away from all of the environment and things like that, we would like to make it a little bit better for our children and our children's children and so on down the line. The Living Building Challenge, the best way to talk about it is in terms of a flower. The way that a flower is place-based, it sits in one area. It doesn't need to really take from the environment. The sun provides all of its energy. The water, in order to generate like nutrients for the flower, is all from right in that area, and so you don't really need to search outside. It's beautiful, and all of the above. And so the Living Building Challenge really takes these petals and the idea of a flower and brings it to life by naming 7 petals. So there's sight, there's water, there's energy, there's materials, there's health, there's beauty, and there's equity. And what all of these petals do is they really are like the guidelines, and there's 20 imperatives that fall underneath these petals, and they all work together to create a building that meets this really strict standards.
When you look at greenhouse gas emissions, buildings are the most single significant contributor to global warming, and because of that, we're not just designing buildings for people to live, work, and play in. We're designing these buildings that are consuming energy and creating emissions and have a total environmental impact beyond just the people who occupy them. So suddenly we feel this responsibility to change the way buildings are being designed. In the B&C community, there's a lot of variation in how much people actually analyze materials in terms of their environmental impact. There's so many criteria out there for materials that sometimes it's hard to sift through the greenwash and understand what's really important. The building industry has gotten better at asking the right questions. Some manufacturers have been really helpful in providing us with the questions we should be asking them. The two-way conversation of architects and designers saying, tell me what's green about your product. Is it recyclable? What's the recycled content? What's the carbon footprint in the entire product? If we start asking those questions of manufacturers, they're more likely to come back with answers to those questions. The Living Building Challenge was developed to challenge the architecture and design community to think about where buildings can go in kind of an aspirational sense of, can we design buildings that are net zero energy, net zero water, net zero waste, and only use building materials that are safe for health and air quality. These are aspirational goals, and the reason it's a challenge is that there are barriers and hurdles currently in the building industry that don't allow us to meet the challenge. However, part of the challenge is for us to have these conversations with building code officials, people in the building industry, manufacturers, to talk about how can we actually meet this challenge.
What we're doing is creating habitat for our species within a larger network of species that is life. And that's our mission. To think that we're designing things is a failure of our industry.
As I've worked on this building, all of the things that are happening with the eco-machine, the water reclamation part of this building, the microorganisms, fungi, and the plants, it really struck me that I am an integral part, but I am not the being that dominates nature in this, that I am a part of a living cycle.
First living buildings are now built. This is just the start. Lighthouses, if you will, of where civilization needs to head. And hopefully someday this is merely how we build everything.